finally won. After centuries of futile attempts, they succeeded in defeating me. The one and only great dragon Sen.
The mighty Sen lay defeated on the blood-soaked battlefield. His massive scales, once gleaming like rubies in the sunlight, were now dulled and cracked. His golden eyes, which had struck fear into the hearts of countless warriors, slowly dimmed as life ebbed from his ancient body.
I tried avoiding them, ignored their misdeeds, and greed for a long time. Yet they did not stop.
Sen thought bitterly. For so long, he had tried to live in peace. He built his lair in remote mountains, far from human settlements. He avoided their villages and farms, wanting nothing more than to be left alone. But the humans never stopped hunting him. They killed his kin, everyone he had ever loved. They left him with nothing but rage and the desire for revenge. And now, even that was gone.
These wretched humans could never match my magnificent power. Their victory came solely through that one woman, the dark-haired sorceress who dared challenge me alone. Yet her identity remains a mystery to me.
Sen let out one final, shuddering breath. But just as Sen prepared to meet his end, strange sounds filled his mind. "It's a boy!" a woman's voice called out joyfully. "A healthy baby boy!" Sen stirred, annoyed. He did not want to be disturbed. These were his last moments, and he wished to spend them in peace. "Look at him," the woman continued. "He's so beautiful." The same woman cooed in glee.
Beautiful? Did someone just call the King of Dragons beautiful?
The insult was too much to bear. Using every ounce of strength he had left, Sen forced his eyes to snap open. The bright light blinded him for a moment. His eyes squinted before they adjusted to the surrounding light, and his vision cleared. But as soon as he noticed the sight before him, confusion clouded his mind. What he saw made no sense. A smiling face of a human woman clouded his vision. She was kneeling beside him. Her form was enormous, bigger than any human he had ever seen. She had long black hair braided down her back. Some loose dark tendrils framed her round face. Dark circles under her eyes showed she was tired, but she smiled warmly as she looked down at him. And her gaze was filled with nothing but kindness? Sen was startled. Was this some kind of punishment? Had the gods sent him to a realm where giant humans would torment him for all the destruction he had caused? And most importantly, how can humans possess a virtue as noble as kindness? Sen tried to spread his wings and take flight, but nothing happened. Panic shot through him like ice water. He couldn't feel his wings. He couldn't feel his claws or his powerful tail. Looking down at himself, Sen's heart nearly stopped. For a moment, the world stopped spinning as he observed himself with wide eyes. Tiny pink hands had replaced his forelimbs. His once thick and impenetrable red scales were gone, and now he was covered in soft, pale skin. He was not the humongous creature whose mere sight could instill dread in the heart of the brave-hearted one. He was small and weak and human. How? How is this possible? Is this some kind of a nightmare? Or have I indeed reborn as a human baby? Sen shuddered at that thought. As if the situation was not tragic enough, a man appeared beside the woman to make it worse. He was tall and broad-shouldered with a thick brown beard. He looked down at Sen with curious eyes. "Can I hold him?" the man asked. "Of course," the woman replied, carefully lifting Sen and placing him in the man's strong arms. Sen tried to struggle, to fight back somehow, but his new body wouldn't obey him. He opened his mouth and tried to roar his fury, but only a weak baby's cry came out. "Shh, little one," the man said gently. "There's nothing to fear." He smiled gently. The crying stopped. Even though Sen couldn't control his body like before, he could at least choose when to make noise. He glared up at the man with all the hatred he could manage. "Look at that," the man chuckled, his eyes crinkling at the corners with genuine delight. "He's got fire in his eyes already. This boy's going to be strong, a true warrior someday." "Strong? You have no idea what true strength is, human," Sen thought smugly, savoring the irony of their ignorance. "Why did this happen to me? Did I commit too many sins to suffer this punishment? Do I now need to spend the rest of my time in this weak human body? Will I ever be able to get my old and strong body back? And how am I going to tolerate the very species that destroyed my entire kind and killed me? Is this another scheme of those Celestials?" Sen's body tensed. His mind was all over the place. He desperately needed answers, but as time passed, he calmed himself down. "I cannot panic like this. I have to remain in control and think through this." And his technique worked. His thoughts cleared, and the confusion slowly dissipated as he watched the smiling faces of the humans. No human had ever smiled at him before. Perhaps this wasn't punishment after all. As despair threatened to consume his consciousness, a flicker of possibility emerged from the darkness. The realization dawned slowly, transforming his anguish into something more potent. What if the Celestials hadn't cursed him, but instead bestowed upon him the ultimate disguise? What if the Celestials had finally realized how wrong they were to maintain silence while the humans slayed the dragons? This situation might be their way of making it up to Sen, a chance for calculated vengeance against the humans who had systematically destroyed everything he cherished. His heart, though now small and human, burned with ancient rage. Sen would grow among them, learning their weaknesses, studying their ways, earning their fragile trust. He would observe their routines, their defenses, their vulnerabilities, all while they nurtured the architect of their downfall. And then, when the moment arrived, when they least expected betrayal from one of their own, he would unleash devastation that would echo through generations. The woman stroked his cheek tenderly, unaware of the hatred simmering beneath his infant skin. Sen felt a momentary flicker of something unfamiliar before burying it beneath centuries of justified wrath. Was it tenderness, comfort, or belonging? Shifting his focus to the man who held him, Sen focused all his energy and gathered saliva in his mouth. The man was leaning close, making silly faces at him. Perfect. "Something's wrong," the woman said, noticing Sen's expression. "He looks like he might be sick." As the man bent closer, Sen let loose with everything he had, spitting directly into the man's face. "Gah!" the man yelped, jerking back and quickly handing Sen back to the woman. "I think he did that on purpose." Sen made a sound that might have been a laugh if he were still a dragon. The woman only smiled and wiped Sen's chin with a soft cloth. "Oh my, you are going to be trouble, aren't you?" Sen opened his mouth to reply, but it stretched into a yawn. Suddenly, Sen felt incredibly tired. The small act of defiance had drained all his energy. His eyelids grew heavy despite his efforts to stay awake. "This weak human body," he thought drowsily, "but I will grow stronger, and when I do, you will all pay for what you've done." Darkness enveloped Sen's consciousness as slumber overtook him, yet his ancient mind continued to weave intricate schemes of retribution. "They destroyed my magnificent scales and stole my fire, but a dragon's memory burns eternal, even in human flesh." The humans remain oblivious that it's not the end, but the beginning of a dragon's revenge.